The horror film Eye Contact has earned itself an outstanding 2 out of 5 stars. The film starts off with a minute-long title screen which had Halloween the movie style music and presented the editors, actors, and directors' names. Then we see a female jogger jogging through a forest until she finally arrives at a lighthouse, all while the music still plays. Then she climbs up through the lighthouse, which is glowing red on the inside. This is a night detail because since the color red makes us subconsciously more alert and thus prone to being scared. Then she goes to the top, where she looks down at a three-dimensional shadow of a man. Then she runs down the lighthouse to check this man out. When she gets down there, she finds he's on top of the lighthouse, exactly where she was standing. She looks to the area she saw him standing in before, and he's not there. So she runs back into the forest, starting to get creeped out, and finds him again. This time, we see the specter more clearly, and he looks like Freddy Krueger, but without the claws or bugs or juices. So, she continues running, and with the music getting louder and scarier, with the man chasing after her yet not moving a muscle, like teleportation, until she reaches a house where she locks herself inside. Then she picks up the phone, only to drop it in surprise when the shadow appears in front of her, about a foot or two away. All we see is the phone, still calling the person on the other line, and then the screen turns black and shows the ending credits. While there were a few different scenes that used techniques I thought were excellently used, this film barely made an impression. I think they used very few techniques for inducing fear and excitement correctly. Using sharp and short notes, with increasing volume ever so slightly, does prompt fear in my mind. Also, the way the woman sometimes stops and catches her breath creates suspense. Other than that, the camera shots were shaky or taken from an unusual perspective, such as behind a tree or on the ground. There are no literary suspense techniques used in this film because there are no flashbacks or foreshadowing or any other literary suspense techniques present. That's why I would rate this film only 2 out of 5 stars. In order to turn this into the newest blockbuster hit, the first thing I would do is hire a cameraman that could keep a steady shot. Also, I would not change into a first-person view unexpectedly. This took away my fear and left me confused, instead of frightened, on why the director chose this shot. Also, a loud, shrill scream or two would help, especially when the shadow appears next to her on the road. She screams, but it doesn't seem like the one you would hear in a horror movie. Nobody screams that silently. I, a 14-year-old male, scream louder and higher pitched than that than she did when I get jump scared. If they made these changes, I feel it would earn 4 to 5 stars.